Hey Chip. How you doing? Haven't actually got a pipe on yet. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going with pipe or with cigar tonight. I was thinking tonight maybe I would do a little tour of my humidor, seeing as the way I've got things set out here, I've got everything on hand. Excuse me. And I have a cigar still on, which I've been smoking now for a couple of days. This is a Romeo and Juliet Real Reserva. The shop move upgrade is going very well. I'm almost there. I did a bit of work on the ducting this evening. I had a photo job earlier as well, so I didn't do any real progress, but I'll do a little quick tour around in a few minutes once there's a few more people on. I mean, when I say tour, it's literally a 360-degree swivel with the camera, because it's a relatively small room, but it's all on hand, which is the whole point of it all. I have turned on the lathe, so I know it works. I haven't lined it up. I've got to recalibrate it because I've been moving stuff around. Hey Daniel. Somebody, I think it was Alex, AMR, he was worried about my jars, which are above the lathe. He was worried about the vibrations, that it might shake the stuff loose, but so far it seems to be pretty solid. I've got to say, people talk about cigars when you go back to them, that they're horrible, they're bitter. I've had this cigar, as I said, going for 2 or 3 days now, and it still tastes fantastic. I actually often find that, especially with a long cigar, a big cigar like this, it's a 7-inch cigar. I think it's a 52 or a 54 ring gauge, so it's a big cigar. I find that if you smoke it for too long, it starts to get a little bit bitter, even if you purge it. But if you smoke it over a few sessions, I find that the taste refreshes, and I actually like stopping and revisiting a cigar. Well, that was one of the rationales behind moving in here, was the cold weather. You know, even if I wouldn't have had the issues with the roof outside, just the cold. You know, for the last 4 winters I've been out there and I've suffered, and now with the way, you know, energy costs are going, having to heat that out there would have cost me an absolute fortune. So coming in here, I'm hoping it's going to be an absolute godsend. I've yet to make any briar dust in here, so I don't know what it's going to be like. It's a small room. I think I'm competing now with Ian Walker of Northern Briars in terms of who's got the smaller workshop. But I've still got to fit an air filter which I bought months and months ago, but I never fitted because I was in a state of flux for so long. I just didn't know what I was doing. Well, I won't be using any machinery at night. Not any. I'll be basically organizing my day, Chip, so that in the morning I'll be doing the noisy work, and in the evening I'll be doing hand work, so sanding, filing, staining, and that kind of thing. So I just have to be a bit more organized, and as I've said on numerous occasions, I've got duplicate of most of the machinery, and if there was a rush job on or something that I had to get done in a certain time frame, I have another lathe outside still. I have another motor outside. The only thing I don't have outside is a bandsaw. So it should be absolutely fine. I mean, the proof of the pudding will be in the eating. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, my sort of daily schedule is very, very different to the average 9 to 5 job, and I tend to work very unsociable hours, and I'm used to that from the photography as well. But the main rationale of doing this, and I won't say it's been an easy move. It's put a big strain on my finances. Number one, the cost of buying the furniture, and number two, not making pipes for so far like a week and a half. No income, very little income. Couple of pipes actually sold from the website today, which I'm very happy about. Makes a big difference, every pipe that sells at the moment, because I'm not making anything fresh. I've got a list of commissions to do, and I need to be getting on with them, and I can't do them yet. So it's been very costly. So I really need to get on with this. But time will tell. As I say, the size of the room, I don't know how that's going to work in terms of dust. So actually, I think now I'll give you a little quick tour, and perhaps I'll take a little bit more time than I do in my update videos, so you can get a feel for it. That side of things is still to be organized. But I'll give you a feel for where we're at. So this is my desk. So this will be where I do my usual office work that I do with photography and so on, where my photography will take place, the videos will take place. That's going to be my pipe corner, which is still in the middle of sort of being made. So my screens, and this will be my workbench as well. So I'm thinking of getting actually a double cover, because I want to keep this clean. I don't want it to look like my workbench outside, which is fully covered in stain and paint and all that kind of thing. So I want to get like maybe a perspex cover, or maybe just another sheet of wood, which I'll put on top of it whilst I'm working on pipes. These are all my files and things that I work with when I'm finishing pipes by hand, doing the handwork. So we've got a double set of drawers here. So that's just again, at the moment it's just stuffed with stuff which is not organized yet. I've really bought very little pipe material in. There's literally maybe 3 or 4 blocks of briar. I've brought no stem materials in yet. All of that's still got to come in. Wall units, the door handles I'm waiting on. They're due for delivery any day now, and I've got the boxes empty on top, ready and waiting for all my old office stuff to come back in, because at the moment they're occupying a bed in one of my kids' rooms. There's the big sander. I've now got the shaping wheel in, and that's the bandsaw as well. And this evening I prepared this this ducting on the dust extractor, and it's going to be a very short hose, which should give me more power. And I've got a smaller whatever you call that, to grab the dust, compared to the last one, which was like triple the size. So that's got to still be attached under the worktop there, so that's got to be finalized. That's the automatic extractor for the bandsaw, so that comes on automatically when I turn the power on, which is very handy. I might actually get another one of those and hook it up to this machine. Till now I used the vacuum cleaner outside, which worked fine, but these are actually easier to store because they're square shaped, quite compact, and it works very, very well. You basically plug in your machine into the socket on here, it detects the power and it turns it on automatically. There's the lathe, of course. So I've still got to calibrate that, line it up, and that's my tobacco cupboard. I actually put a couple of extra screws in there, you can see underneath there, just to strengthen it up a little bit. My tools still, half empty. We're getting there. These are my main tools, the ones that I use most, and the drill bits that I use the most. And some of the briar is going to go on these metal shelves. Some of the newer briar that's come in, I've especially bought these wire shells, so that they've got gaps so that they can air out nicely. So the newer ones that come in can sit on there and sort of air cure, and the older ones that I've got I'll be using. And some more shelving up there as well. And the cigar humidor is down here. So I was thinking tonight maybe to do a cigar tour of my humidor. I haven't got a huge amount at the moment, but we'll see. Perhaps we will, perhaps we won't. If there's enough interest, we might do that. Hey, Smarty Bob. Smarty Bob. The actual size of the room is about 2.5 meters in length, and I know that because this workbench is made up of the full length of a sheet of 8x4. So and it's about half a foot short, so it's about 8.5 feet in length. A full sheet is 2.4 meters, so it's about 2.5 meters, and the width maybe a fraction less than that, so it's not quite a square room, it's a little bit less than that. I would say it's let's see, it's probably about 6.5 feet wide, so maybe just over 2 meters wide. The real sort of test of it all is going to be when I first do my first the first time I turn a piece of wood. So the first time I put a block of briar on the lathe and I turn it and then go on the shaping wheel, that's really going to be the big test. Let's see if the whole room gets full of dust or not. It shouldn't do, because the extractor works really well. The new one that I got recently, it works really well, and then combined with the air filter, which will remove any airborne dust, it should work well. I'm really hoping, and I've got the extractor in the corner as well, so I'm hoping all of those combined will really deal with the dust. And I think I'll have to be quite disciplined about vacuuming sort of each day after I've finished on the lathe and the shaping wheel to vacuum, and just to keep things under control, because it's a small room to be sitting, and you know, each time you walk around on a dusty floor you're churning up dust and you're sort of breathing it in. Alright, cheers Mike. Hi Mark. Yeah, it's the same lathe as outside. It's the record power. It was an absolute nightmare to get it in here. The headstock is moved along just because I was working in the corner there. That will move right over and it will look the same. But it is the same. I had to enlist the help of my boys to help me get some of the heavy stuff into the room. I couldn't lift that, and we brought it in 5 different pieces. Each piece had to be brought in separately. The tailstock on itself is heavy. The headstock is an absolute beast. It's what you see there, plus a big motor behind it, plus that power supply unit, that square that you can see down there, that switching over there, that is also attached to it with a cable, a heavy duty cable. It's all one big thing, so you have to unscrew that box from the frame and then carry that whole headstock with the motor behind it. It's a very unwieldy and very heavy item. And then you have the lathe bed, which is the heaviest part, this bed here, and that probably weighs, wouldn't surprise me if that weighed 100 kilo on its own. And each of the legs probably weighs 40-50 kilos. So it's a very, very solid lathe. And that was a struggle to get in, and then having to put it all together again was also a struggle, but we got there. And hopefully once it's in, and that's it. It'll stay there and it'll do its job nicely. I've also got to fit brackets for my phones for when I do lives. I've got one so far just over the lathe. That's probably the most important one. This one here, because I've got surfaces around, I can probably do a lot of them just by using my little tripod. It's really only the lathe, I think. The rest, I think I'm good. I'm trying to remember outside if I used anything other than the one above the lathe. I don't think I did. The rest I think I did all on the table tripod. So I think we're in good shape in terms of the lives. The sound might be a bit iffy. Mike had a communication saying that the sound might be a bit tinny or a bit echoey, and that could well be because of the size of the room. The sound could be bouncing around because it's a small room, so I may well have to do something about that. I don't know what I can do. How long will I be in this location? I hope, if it works out, I'll be here permanently, all being well. The only thing that probably won't be in here is the sandblasting. Once I get that kit finished, but now I've got plenty of room for it, I'll do that outside. I'm not going to even try and fit it in here. There's plenty of pipe makers who have their sandblasting setups separate from their main setup. I mean, but the core of the machinery that I use is really quite limited, and I don't need more, unless, at some point I decided to get a metal lathe. Then the chances are, if I did, it'd have to go here, and my photography stuff would have to be done somewhere else. But this would be the ideal sort of space for it. It's ready-made, separate space. I mean, if I really wanted to squeeze things, I probably could, and put it just on the other side of this screen here, and I just have to move the big sanding disc somewhere else, possibly. Where, I don't know. If I had to, I could probably squeeze another lathe in if I really wanted to, but I'm not looking to do that in this moment in time or in the near future. Hey Phil. I mean, I've been doing my pipes now for, when did I start? In 2018? 2018. Well, I started towards the end of 2017, but I started in earnest in 2018. I moved into the house. I've been in the garage till now. This is my home office, which I've now converted into a workshop. So I've been at it now for 4.5 years. Nearly 5 years now. Time flies when you're having fun. So nearly 5 years. And in that 5 years, I've managed pretty well without a metal lathe. It's not to say that I wouldn't be able to diversify a bit more if I got a metal lathe. But there's quite a few pipe makers who don't use metal lathes, especially the sort of more traditional pipe makers, the older pipe makers. But certainly Ian Walker uses a wood lathe, Mike Billington. So these are the more traditional pipe makers. The more modern pipe makers, most of them use metal lathes now. But if I look at, say, somebody like Lorenz in Germany, he uses a wood lathe, and from what I can tell from his recent videos, he's recently upgraded his lathe and got himself another wood lathe. He didn't get a metal lathe. But again, his pipe making is very much tuned into the German market, and you don't see fancy rings and lots of adornments and all of that kind of stuff, which is what you want a metal lathe for. And a lot of the drilling he does by hand. So rather than what I do and use the tailstock, he puts the drill bits into the headstock and hand holds the block and feeds it into the drill bit. And absolutely, Phil, that's probably the best of both worlds, is shaping the stommels. I can't, although I've never used a metal lathe, so I couldn't say, but I can't see that I would enjoy using a metal lathe to shape the stommels. I really, really like the organic nature of using a wood lathe. But for doing any straight axis work, such as the stems, the tenons, and adornments, for that, a metal lathe is certainly going to be the way to go. And I still have an idea that I might get myself a high precision but very small lathe. And the one I got recently was a small lathe, but it wasn't very precise, and I sent it back. But there are some precision ones that you can get, and it's just, so I was thinking of maybe doing that just for stem work. Maybe. Hey Patrick. Which who made an Eskimo chip? Was that Lawrence? I haven't seen his latest videos. No, I wasn't talking about Jason Mouton. He got himself a new metal lathe. Very nice. No, I was talking about Ludwig Lorenz. What does he call his channel now? I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed, but is it Jason Mouton Pipes or JM Pipes? What does his YouTube channel go by at the moment? Oh, I see. Hey Mark, how you doing? Jane Mouton. Grizzly, oh here we go. Upgrades installed. Thanks. Okay. A Grizzly Geo768. That's a nice looking machine. What is that, a 180 center? Eight-inch swing. Oh, that'll do most pipes, won't it? Most stummels. Well, he's also got himself a really expensive wood lathe as well. what's that make? That very expensive brand he's got, the green ones. And that I wouldn't say jealous of, but I wouldn't mind having a lathe like that. Yeah, it's not a Grizzly. He's got one of the best makes in lathes. I can't remember what the make is though. It's got quite a mundane name. One of my pipes on Smoking Pipes EU? That must be Powermatic, yeah, I think so. That must be an estate pipe then. Not from me, it isn't. Smoking Pipes EU, let's have a look. Estate pipes. English estates. LCS price, look at that. 91 euros. What a steal. They obviously don't know much about me because they've not written anything about my pipes. They think it's an old English brand by the looks of it. There you go. Well, for an estate one of mine, it's a fair price. It's about half, I guess. I wouldn't have sold this one for 180, but it's okay for an estate pipe. It's not too bad, given where I'm at. Or this pipe, I don't know what number it is. It's quite an early pipe, but considering a lot of the older estate pipes they have on there for 50-60 euros, I'm okay with that. That's pretty good. Maybe I should buy it back. Yeah, I think it is a Powermatic. They're very, very, very big, very solid, like square frame, you know, like a very boxy design. But you can be sure that'll last a lifetime. Yeah, you're right, it is a mustardy kind of colour chip. They are very expensive. I'm trying to remember if he had a metal lathe before that. I think he did, didn't he? Yeah, so as I say, I think if I was to go for a metal lathe, it would be a small one, a really small one. The issue with it is I could see might be getting chucks to hold the rod stock, because usually those small ones are designed for pen makers, that kind of thing. So finding one that will take a decent sized chuck could be a bit of a challenge. But anyway, it's not something in my mind at the moment. Definitely got to settle in here first, get my sandblasting set going, and then we can worry about it. So, anybody interested in seeing cigars? Or not? Or I could show you a bunch of pipes that may well go into the next sale, whenever that'll happen. Ah, cigar. The new workshop's going very well so far. I did a tour a little bit earlier, but you can certainly look at my previous video, that'll give you the latest position. Alright, so let me show you some cigars. So it's very possible over the course of previous lives that you might have seen all or some of these in drips and drabs, but I don't think I've done the whole Humidor. Here we go. Oh, these are my son's actually. So I'm literally just taking them out as they come. Alright, so this is a Ramonayones specially selected, but it contains a couple of special symbols. So this one is a Cohiba 2017 Talisman. I have smoked one of these, and the first time I smoked it I was kind of underwhelmed, and this one has been sort of resting now for quite some time. I've had it for probably a couple of years. The limited edition date is 2017, but they were still selling them. I think they're still selling them now, but they were certainly making them in 2019. I don't remember exactly when I got this, but it's certainly a couple of years. This is a Trinidad Fundadoras, one of the old ones with the old band. It's the old Trinidad band. So I think the band changed around 2003, something like that. So this is nigh on 20 years old, this cigar. I bought this cigar in the Dunhill shop before it closed down, and it was a bit of a freaky thing because I was looking through, I knew the guy very well, the guy who served there, and I always, every time I went in, I would always say, what have you got that's interesting? Anything new come in? And he just said, no, everything, you know, pretty much the same as the last time you saw. And I was looking at the Trinidad, and he said, actually, in that box, there's one cigar left from before they changed the band. I grabbed it straight away. He was selling it at the normal retail price at the time, so I grabbed it. It's just, you know, because it's the old band, so I suppose it just gives it a little bit more of an interest. This is a Sancho Panza, I think it's a double-barreled name. That's a very long cigar. Also, I bought it because I just thought it was interesting. I've had it for a good number of years. I've never smoked these, so I really don't know what they're like. I bought it more, just I thought it was a bit of fun. But it's now got lots of age on it, so it should be a good smoke whenever it happens. I'm not doing this in any particular order. This is Partagas D6. So these are the small, short Robustos. I've gone through a fair few boxes of these, and I think this is my last box of my current stock. So just short Robusto, really nice smoke, got a nice spicy flavour, and just, you know, just a good old smoke, a really nice Cuban cigar smoke, good flavour, and a good sort of, it's not too long, so depending on what you're up to and what you're doing, that's a nice little short smoke. This is Perez Carrillo Encore New World cigar. I'll tell you what, the New World cigars, they do know how to make boxes, that's for sure. Beautiful inlay. #1 cigar for 2018. Just 2 left. Very beautifully presented cigar. Gave a couple of them away as well. The Monte Cristo Añejados. There is a whole Cuban range of añejados, which I had quite a lot to say about those when they first came out, when they introduced the whole concept. This is the 2020 limited edition Partagas. I only bought one of them, so I haven't done a video on this yet. It's almost a Maduro colour. It's a really dark wrapper, very oily wrapper. This should have some wonderful flavour. This is a 2012 British regional edition Ramon Leones Petit Bellicoso. So it's a small torpedo. At one time this was my go-to cigar, but they're now as rare as hen's teeth. A beautiful box of cigars, and as I've said before in previous videos, I dare not smoke one, because I know once I smoke one the box will go in no time at all. But I used to love these. Got a bit of a blocked nose at the moment, so I can't really get any aromas, but a lovely, lovely Vitola. Really, really nice cigar. Ramon Leones is one of my favourite brands of all time. This was one of the last boxes available retail in the UK. Besides for those companies that put them down for selling at a later date. Here's another cracking cigar. This is also Ramon Leones, the Hexagon. This is the French regional edition for 2016, is it? Yeah, 2016. I've had a couple of boxes of these, and then again I put away this box because I knew that if I'd start it, I'd finish it in short order. A beautiful cigar, really great size. It's almost an American Toro size. It's a, what is it? It's a 54 ring gauge by, must be 5.5, nearly 6 inches. Really nice big sized cigar. But the flavour on this cigar from day one, which is quite rare with Cubans, but from day one this tasted amazing. Really nice, rich, tangy spice on it. And I can only imagine what it is now. It's 7 years since, 6 years. And I've been keeping it there and not smoking it for that long, which is in itself a bit of a miracle. What else? This one you've probably seen before. This is the KSA, which is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So these have got a bit of a legend about them. Actually, it's one of the first times it's actually starting to smell like a Cuban cigar. So this is, you can see on it, it says KSA, which is Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and these purportedly are rolled in Cuba as a private brand for one of the princes in Saudi Arabia who's big into cigars, and these are exclusively made for this prince. You can't buy them, they're not available anywhere, so the only way you can get them is if it comes from his Humidor. And I got this in a trade from a guy who knew somebody close to the prince, supposedly. Whether it's real or not, whether the guy just took me for a ride, I haven't the foggiest idea. But when the guy did the trade, he kept on asking me to do a video because he wanted to know my thoughts about it. But because I've only got one, and it's likely going to be the only one I ever get, I've kind of pushed it off. And in the meantime, it's been sitting in my humidor now for about 4 or 5 years. And I always said that this to me smelled like a New World cigar, but now for the first time it's starting to smell like a Cuban cigar. And I'm wondering whether this is something like a Cohiba, which takes some time to mature. But an interesting story anyway. And that's the thing with cigars, once you've smoked it, it's gone, and that story's gone, because it's, as I say, likely to be the only one I ever get of this. So this is a box for Monte Cristo number 5s, but it's got some singles in here. So we have an old band Monte Cristo limited edition 2003. We have the 2010. (2005). These are all old band limited editions. 2012. And the 2008, which I think is known as the Sublime, which is the same as the Cohiba Sublime, and I believe a very valuable cigar. Some of these Monte Cristos are actually really valuable. So this is some singles again. Cohiba Robusto. I think this is the last of the Cohiba Robustos that I got from Tim from Hermit Piper. We have a Monte Cristo Connoisseur B, which I've yet to do a video on these. I think I got this from Tim as well, quite possibly. A Quintero, which is at the lower end of the Cuban cigars. I'm not sure where I got that one from, possibly from Mark. And the Jose El Piedra. And I believe these are short filler. So at the lower end of the Cuban market. And these cigars I actually got from a gentleman who is the Davidoff rep in the UK. I don't remember what it was he was smoking. Hey Oscar. I don't remember what it was he was smoking, but I commented on one of his pictures on Facebook, and he said that I'll send you a sample, which was very nice of him. But he didn't just send me a sample, he sent me a whole bunch. So this one is a tasting cigar, not for sale. I don't know which one it is. It looks to me like it could be one of the year pipes, cigars, one of the year ones, year of the whatever. But I've had this now for a couple of years, maybe 3 years, 4 years. I just don't know which one it is. It's got a Davidoff sticker on it. So it's just, I think it's just interesting, it's unique, it's probably some samples which they were giving out for people to see what they like, to get feedback. This is a Rocky Patel 20th anniversary. He sent me that as well. This is a Nica Libra, and this is, I think, the last cigar from the first ever box of cigars that I ever got, which I got from Ben, Unicorn Piper. We did a trade at the time, and he got me a box of these, and I think this is the very last one. And I seem to remember that they were very nice. You can see the cello has become quite brown from the age. So this is probably 5-6 years old. And finally, this one. Can't even see what it is. It says on it Red Knight. I don't know what it is. It's a Lancero type cigar. Any of you know what that is? It's got a little pigtail cap. I'm sure I'll try it at some point, Daniel. Alright, so this is my main singles box, which has got all my limited editions and regional editions. Some very, very nice cigars in here. This is the Sabra Saliento. Try and remember that. This is the Paul Aranaga Sabra Saliento, the British regional edition. I think it was 2015. I've had a few of these, very mild, very sweet. I've got no idea what it would be like now. It's, you know, with a few years age on it, it should be very nice. And the same with this. This is an A. Chapman Mag 56 from 2015. I think they've now brought out the Mag 56 as a standard line, if I'm not mistaken. But this is where it started, 2015 limited. Again, smoked loads of these at the time. I ended up with 2 left, and I've smoked one of them, and this is the last one I have left now. 2009 Romeo and Juliet limited edition. Partagas P2 Sevilla, which is the ones that come in a jar. And we have the Asia Pacifico Juan Lopez Torpedo. This is the Cuban regional edition for San Cristobal, is it? Yeah, San Cristobal. And we have the lovely, beautiful 80th anniversary Monte Cristo. These shot up in price as well. Smoked a bunch of these too. They took some time to mature, but that's really a really hefty sized cigars. This is a Partagas Lusitania. Nice cigars. This is quite a rare cigar. This is La Gloria Cubana Maestros from 2012, I think it is. The bands have moved around a bit. I had a box of these. They're quite rare. I first smoked one. I absolutely loved it. I tried to find more. I couldn't find them. And I finally got, because somebody contacted me, this is going back a few years. He was selling off a collection of cigars for a friend. I went around to see him, and I came back with a whole bunch of cigars, but one of the things I came back with was a box of these. Monte Cristo Old Band 2006 limited edition. Romeo and Juliet 2005. A lot of these have got nicknames. I can't remember them all. I used to know them all. This is País Bajos Diplomáticos. Hey Todd. We have a Cohiba Siglo 6. So that's the big, similar size to the Talisman. We have a Trinidad Topaz 2016 limited edition. Hey Jeff. And we have a Canadian regional edition Diplomaticos. We have the Supremos, Monte Cristo Supremos, 2019 Monte Cristo. And we have a Punch 2017 limited edition. So that's this box. There's a lot of cigar leaf here, and it's a lot of really good cigar leaf. So that's that box. Well, they nearly all went flying just there. Not too many to go. Oliva Cervi Milano, courtesy of none other than Mark, Welsh Piper. Just 2 left in the box. Cervi Milano, as you know, one of my favourites new age cigars of all time. The Milano, mind you, not the Cervi. Cervi is nice too, but it's really the Cervi Milano that I like. Then we have a Monte Cristo Dantes, which is the limited edition 2016. And we have 3 of those left. 3 of those and another one of the Sevilla P2s. Very dark wrapper and a very punchy cigar. Quite a lot of strength in those cigars. This is a box of Partagas Mille Fleurs, which is the small cigars. So I'm about a quarter of the way through. Oh, look at that. Some Villiger export. These are the box pressed ones. I used to, in the days before I smoked cigars, if I ever fancied one, this is what I used to buy. They come individually wrapped in paper and a box press, cut at both ends. It's a you know, short filler machine made cigar, but I used to like them. So I bought this for old time's sake, and I smoked one of them. I didn't really like it, to be honest. We have a Drew Estate all decked out, which I need to do a video on, so it's still sitting there. And we have a Bolivar, what is that, a Robusto size? Which I got in a bit of a trade. That's another one of the Reserva, the real Reservas Romeo and Juliet. Oh, got 2 of those left. And I've still got 1 pack left of the Series V's, which Cole sent me very generously. And this, I think I showed this one recently. This is the Ramoniones 2019 limited edition. Torpedoes, beautiful cigars, dark wrappers, and they're starting to really smell good. I have smoked these, also quite strong, but these really nice dark rich wrappers, and they're starting to really smell great. Again, it's a full box, and these have actually increased in value as well. The rationales don't actually do as well as cigars like Trinidad and Cohiba when it comes to accruing value, but I think this box, this particular limited edition, I think has done well. Alright, well that's pretty much my Humidor. I'll be honest with you, here in the UK, humidity wise, we're pretty middle of the road. I don't worry about it too much. I have humidification in there, but I don't really check it. It's going to be roughly around the 68-69 mark. The device that I use is rated at that level, but I try to keep them a little bit below 70. But as I say, humidity here is pretty good. We're pretty lucky that way. Plus, being in this Humidor, it really keeps humidity very, very well. And I don't really have any issues, thank God. Oh, I think there's another box lurking there, which I missed. This I bought when I went on my trip to Zurich a few years ago, and this is a 2013 box. So you've got a Hoya de Monterey 2013, you've got a Punch 2013, and you've got a regional edition for France, which was also released in 2013. It's just a nice little box. I thought it was cute, and I paid 85 Swiss francs at the time for the 3, which was a pretty good price at the time. And I should have the Perdomo one as well. I don't know if it's right at the bottom there, but I think I'll leave that. You saw that quite recently anyway, so. It's nice to have it all on hand here right next to me. It's interesting, you know, it was in the same room before, but it was kind of not in hand's reach. Having in hand's reach, it kind of, you do tend to reach for a cigar more often. I have smoked cigars more than I did before in the preceding sort of few months. I haven't really been smoking cigars that much. I've been smoking pipes much more, but I have been enjoying them recently. Right, I think they're all back. .65 humidity, 65 temperature. Yes, Oscar, the prices of Cubans have been raised, especially the top of the range ones. You know, the Cohibas, Trinidads, those ones have gone up big time. Ramona Yonis 2020 UK Regionals. Hey Andrew, no, I haven't seen those. I'll have to try and pick one up. Let's see if I can find a picture. Wow, that's ridiculous. £90 for a single. That's crazy. It looks like Monte Cristo, that band. It's a new band. Havana House, Ramona Yones Private Stock 230 cigar. Okay, it's a special edition. £90. That's just mad. No, I don't think I'll be buying that. I can't afford that. I think the next year or two is going to be a really, really important time for Cuban cigars. It's going to be make or break, I think. Their pricing is just so crazy, and I don't know if they can survive it. Either they'll survive it and people will still, the rich people will still continue to buy them at that kind of price. My worry is that with Cuban prices going up, shops will automatically also increase the prices of non-Cubans, even though they won't be to the same extent, but they'll just increase them because they can, and because they'll still be cheaper than Cubans. And if somebody wants a cigar, they'll just get a New World. I don't know what the future holds for the cigar industry. I think it's in the balance. I personally think it's in the balance. I think really and truly, customers, even people who can't afford them, should put two fingers up at Habanos SA, and tell them, what, stuff your Cuban cigars. As much as we love them, they're just taking the mickey, I think. Stinkiest cigar. Don't know. Well, tomorrow, even though I'm not fully moved in here, I might try and make a pipe, just to bed things in, and just to get a new pipe out. I'm desperate to make a pipe. We shall see. Well, I think that's me for tonight. What's the time? 1:16. So from my point of view, I'm done. Anybody wants to ask anything, please go ahead. If not, I'll start saying my thank yous. What am I going to make? Well, I've got a few commissions, but I'm not sure that I'll do a commission yet. I want to bed in, make sure everything's running well. I don't know. I might just go for something familiar, maybe a billiard or something like that, a bet billiard. I haven't really got any fixed plans in my head what the next pipe is going to be. I guess I'll have a look at some of the blocks that I've got here and take it from there. Though I think I'll make more pipes. There's a good possibility of that. I don't know if it was just a subconscious thing that I didn't always get out to the workshop first thing in the morning. But now it's literally 2 feet away from my bedroom. So there's no excuse really. I get up in the morning, do my normal morning rituals, and then come in here. No reason why not, really. You might see earlier lives now. The sound will only be during the day, so kids will be in school, and my wife will be doing whatever she does, but the sound won't disturb anybody, as the noise will be done during working hours, and in the evenings I'll do the quieter parts of pipe making. You know, stem filing, hand sanding, staining, that kind of thing. The garlic bulb pipe. You are, of course, talking about the 626, or the cauldron, as some people are calling it. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I've got, as I say, several commissions that I need to do, but we shall see. Yeah, I mean, those sound like a bit of a sort of lower end of things, those cigars. And that ought to be the next pipe. If you say so, Jeff. I have made quite a few of those now. They've been quite a popular shape. I'm not sure if I've made one which hasn't been a commission yet. Yeah, absolutely, Jeff, I will. There is an author on my commission list. I need to do an author. I've got a Canadian on my commission list. What else have I got? I've got a stubby bent billiard to do. I've got a custom built style pipe I need to do. And the author, Canadian, a few of the pipes that I've got waiting to be done. The custom built one should be interesting. I'm not sure if I've done a hawk bill since. No, I don't think I have. I'd quite like to do another one of those. Alright, people. Thanks, Todd. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Andrew Sirigliano. Uprod Bob. Smarty Bob. Little Piper Todd. Oscar Flores. Geary. Hey, Geary. Didn't see you come in. Hope you're well. Patrick. Mark Welsh Piper. Brian Jacobs, if you're still there. Didn't see you either. Hope you're well. Cigar. Chip. Jack Ryan. Philip Rivara. Rockin' Steady. Oh, you're here too. Oh, I didn't see you. Sorry. missed you. Mark Wesley, and everybody else. Thanks very much for joining. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will catch you on the next one.